Meet Eunice, a dynamic operations and HR consultant and fractional executive. With experience on both sides of the table, she thrives in fast-paced environments, working closely with senior executives to drive growth and innovation while running her own company.
There's really no difference. I scrutinize the same way, which is looking for the best talent possible. But I found that it was best for me to, especially now where folks are trying to find a good balance of, professionals who have their back, but at the same time can have a sense of community, of belonging. And even when we're working remotely, and my company was built remotely. So I have a remote team. They still want that, sense of environment that is tight knit and they can trust. So I'm looking for folks that are, professionals who really value that and they're comfortable with that. Along with that, I want them to have a great sense of self. And it has to do with being genuine, being sincere, coming across really the way they are. That's the best way to present yourself, as being yourself. And you don't have to lie and figure it out. You can be yourself and just show that would be a great team member, whether you're working for me or working for others. So that's very important. Secondly, or thirdly, be working in an environment that you expect change or you expect the unexpected. In 2025, we find, especially with AI being introduced in a big way last year and so much rapid change lately, along with the economy, changing and the way that you find clients, the way you find leads, the way that person that I would hire would have to present themselves in environments and being adaptable and having an open mind to do things. All of that counts when it comes to that. So I try to get that out of interviewing, whether that person can handle and adapt to change. It's so important, very important. Well, along the lines of being sincere and expecting the unexpected, the red flags I see is someone that's not malleable, not able to be flexible when change happens. I wanted to tell you this little story, so I'll quickly tell you. A friend of mine who's very close, as a matter of fact, I consider her a best friend, highly professional. She worked with me and hired me or made sure that she supervised me to make sure I was doing something back in the day when I was a legal assistant to several IP attorneys. And fast forward to when I started Clarke Executive Services Group and told her the people that I'm hiring, they have to know different types of software. They have to be willing to learn and train. They have to be willing to work in different adaptable settings where you're going to work with high level folks, but you're also going to work with mid level and lower level professional folks. When I told her she had to learn different software, she said, no, there's no way. I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen. So you have to be brave. You have to be brave to figure out, can I handle and be adaptable as possible? It's still that same theme throughout, especially now, that you have to be open to doing that. So a red flag is clearly just not being a malleable candidate or a malleable person. I find that in every area where I'm hiring. I find it for clients. And when I see the red flag, no matter how much experience they have, believe it or not, I tend to steer away from the person that can't adapt or isn't willing to learn new things. Well, first, honestly, I like the profile of Go Fractional. I like how it's set up. So it's very clear um, on what the professional does. So I love that the profile is very clear. If I'm working and I'm trying different things, but the things I am doing now, I have several campaigns, marketing campaigns and lead generation campaigns that I've started. One thing I'm doing is I've always included my signature with my LinkedIn profile. Well, I'm also adding the Go Fractional link to my signature. And I'm giving them just a way that they can see more and more about me, more and more about Go Fractional and how they work with professionals. And I think it's a great combo. So it's easy to do that and no questions asked, they just can go straight to the profile and I reference it in the body of the email or letter. So that's what I'm doing now. And I'm finding different ways to incorporate Go Fractional and LinkedIn together so they can work hand in hand and presenting me the best way possible as fractional professional. So I'm excited about that. That's a great question because I purposely put them together, not just because I have that experience of working in operations, which for clarification of what operations is, it's the insides of your business, I call it. It's the running, the management, the infrastructure, the processes, systems, and workflow of your business so that you can grow, expand, and see some profitability to keep that in order. So it's about efficiency. So there's a lot of folks that throughout my career, in working in corporate and working in nonprofit and working in universities, I've found that while there's a lot of process, that a lot of times it's scattered about, that some people are doing one type of process and they're not doing the other type. Some are dated, some are not. They're not keeping up with the systems and processes and workflows that make each and every team member and each and every team within that organization run like clockwork, run as efficiently as possible. So I founded Clarke Executive Services Group so you can get your business in order, the insides of the business, and then have the team, the strong team that is well-trained, well-versed, and are individual experts in your business so they can run it efficiently. So they work hand in hand. That's how that's how you can leverage both the operational side, making sure the efficiency is in place, making sure things are in order, and then have the right team, the right fitting team to run that. So that's how I make it work. What I tell my clients is what we're about, what Clarke is about, and that is aligning the infrastructure possible to sustain and support the team so they can do a good job for you. So the first thing I tell them to do is make sure that processes and organization and operations are in order so that support can support you and you can work long term. So that's the first thing. Also, if I may, the second step is look at the big picture of it working together, because oftentimes, at least through the years, and I think it's important to state this, a lot of owners, business owners, sees the, say, sales part or marketing part of their business where they have individuals running that side. They see it as the money making side. And then the administrative and operations side, they see that as something that is taking money from them. But I disagree in that operations is vital and a business is not a business unless you make sure that that business is filled with efficiency, operational efficiency in order to run it well. And those folks that you're hiring to do that side, the operations management consultant, the operations manager, all the people that handle and manage the insides of your business are an investment. They're not hemorrhaging for you. That's an investment in order for your business to grow and expand. So that's what I tell them. I tell them that look at the big picture, and the first step is seeing that in order for your business to survive, it's not just making money. There's a lot of folks who create products and services, but how long will that last and will it sustain without an inside? There's a lot of hollow companies that don't do enough to keep their the stability and infrastructure and efficiency of their business going. So I say the operations is vital. Well, it has affected business. As far as on the client side of it, throughout the years, I've had some really great clients who started, just if I may, I'll give you a couple of case studies where there was an engineer designer who worked out of his bedroom, right? Where he had everything on his bed doing the work. And he wanted me to help him build out the operational side of his business. So he didn't have anyone hired except 1099 contractors. He didn't have an office. He had a name, but he didn't have any corporate paperwork done. He didn't have a team like the operations team, accountant, CPA, no one to help him build out that structurally the business. He had no processes in place. He had nothing but his word, good connections, but no one to build his business. So what I did for him is create with him a business that was sustainable and efficient. And we built processes, systems, workflows. We hired team members. We hired an operations office manager. We hired 3 engineer designers. We hired a mechanical designer. We hired definitely a bookkeeper, and we hired an accountant as he needed it. And I was his fractional COO. So I helped him build out his business. As a result from it, the first year his income, his revenue was 67,000. When I left him, or he said, I have it from here, Eunice. Thank you very much. I have a team now. Thank you so much. We went from 67,000 to close to 2 million in 3.5 years. So it was an honor to do that. Okay. Well, from a challenge point of view, at least the initial stages of it, I would say this has happened for a long time. Business owners see their businesses as the loves of their life, or at least one of them. They're babies. They're helping to grow their business. And if you have a great idea, it's hard to allow a team to deviate from your dream, right? So I think one of the challenges for at least owners, business owners, is letting go and allowing professionals to help you build your business. You don't want people to, like I said, derail your dream. And I understand that. You tend to want to do everything yourself. Oh, I could do it faster. I could do it this. I can do it that. But you find very quickly with the right people, and that's where you merge that human element, that human relations element, the other folks to help you build your infrastructure. You build it quite much faster. There's growth, there's efficiency, there's organization, there's all those things that you need to build a strong business. So I find that business owners, including myself, found it hard to just let go and allow others to trust others to keep your business dream sacred, right? With the right team, you find that it's a wonderful thing because they help you grow. So that's the biggest challenge. I've had many business owners who have talked to me. We've talked about a plan. They've started the plan and then they veered off from it. And then years later, they come back and say, you know what, Eunice, what you said made some sense. So why don't we try this again? So that's the hardest part, but I get it. I understand why. And let me say that not only do I get it, there's also those tough, challenging times when you have picked the wrong person, when there isn't the right fit, no matter what. That there's a few things that business owners do that's a no. I don't do it because that's from learning after many years. But you want to give people a chance to prove themselves. So you'll either hang on to someone a little longer knowing that they're not the right fit. But there's an old saying, fire slow, fire fast. And that's a reality, that owners have to deal with, which is you want to be compassionate. You want to be understanding. You want to show that you really appreciate any kind of work that the person has contributed. But it's best to for them, it's best for you, it's best for the business overall to be honest with yourself and say what is needed to allow this business to continue to thrive. And then have an honest conversation, a private. Well, my background is varied, and I'm very proud of that because I am one of those crazy brave souls that I'm adaptable to change. I'm used to working in fast, quick and rapidly growing environments and fast paced and everything. So, but with all the different experiences that I had prior to founding Clarke Executive Services Group. I have founded two companies before, several years before in the entertainment business. I had different reasons for leaving there, but profitability wasn't coming quickly. So I went back into the corporate world. The last job I had prior to Clarke was working for USC. I worked for a couple of deans through the years and ran the administrative department where I had a team of 6 folks and supporting staff and students that were about 30 or so students and supervised them while I did my thing in managing and working with the dean and all of their needs and fundraising. And during that time, I missed the entrepreneurial side of myself and said, all right, it's been 8 years. I got my master's degree during downtime, no downtime, but I happened to get a master's degree while I was there and said, it's time to go back to that world. And I decided right then and there, because I had been working 40 hours, depending on what time of the year, 70 hours, 80 hours a week. I had been doing that since I was 19. I wanted to slow down in one way, but I wanted to get back into the entrepreneurial world space. And I knew it would give me space to not only create and work with others, but be very busy, but I can control the time a bit better, right? As far as what a operations consultant is, by definition, it's a professional who focuses on working with businesses, and in our case, small businesses, to help develop and implement, as we've been talking about, processes. So step by step processes, systems, workflows, everything it takes for those professionals to do their job and do it as efficiently as possible. So me as an operations management consultant or operations consultant, I work with the seniors, primarily the senior executives, the CEO and the operations professional, even the CFO, to develop all of those processes, systems, that the team can utilize in order to work as efficiently as possible and to build profitability. So that's what we do as operations consultants. Proud to do it. And it keeps me working for folks who are excited about, building their businesses and building that dream they have. What sparked them to start their business in the first place? That's a chief HR, yeah, chief human resources officer. So what defines them is we're in the business of managing, working with, and making sure that the best human beings are represented in those professional spaces. So and in 2025 and years prior, it's not only just the business side now. Now you really have to, like I said, nurture, much like a business. You have to nurture the relationship you have between people and the business or the organization that they are representing. They have to buy in. Human beings have to buy into the notion that you really not only care about giving them benefits, giving them the best work environment, giving them the best chances of doing a good job, training, all of that. But now more than ever, especially with us being challenged with a lot of things happening in 25. So we as professionals I think it's important that we show, and in this job of Chief Human Resources Officer, we not only support the top brass, the top executives in that there, but we also help to guide them and be a part of the team that helps to nurture and support the rest of the people who are supporting that business. But we have to be willing to be just that fly on the wall or that participant in the meeting when some things have changed, when we have to pivot to something else, when you're not getting the raise that we thought you could get because of the rapid changes that have happened in the last not even year. It's a tough, tough time right now, in my opinion. And so you have to deal with the realities of dealing with folks, and you have to be as patient with people, even if they are having a tough time and you see the frustration, you see the anger, you see whatever. We're there to support those executives who make those tough decisions. We're there to come up with the best ideas possible and execute those ideas into reality to help support the team that is supporting your business and holding their hands, even if it's philosophically, in those moments. And then with a lot of more remote or hybrid companies, you have to be there ready to support no matter in whatever way. Give yourself patience, grace, work it out, move forward. And I know it's easier said than done. Even Clarke took a hit when AI changed, which I know a lot of fractional professionals are experiencing big time. But just remember your dream. Remember the reason you started your business in the first place. Reach out to other professionals. Have those conversations with people. Create forums. Create small, little boards for yourself that can support you, and keep talking it out. Do not keep it a secret. Whatever you're going through, talk to someone. They may have gone through it before. I've restarted and pivoted myself several times because I'm much older than, this face looks like. And just keep moving forward. It's a really challenging time, but keep moving forward. As far as go fractional, the reason why I'm sticking with go fractional, not to make it a commercial, but I really appreciate the professionalism